A month ago, Senator Susan Collins questioned FBI Director Christopher Wray about the alarming increase in illegal marijuana grow operations in Maine. Collins, the vice chair of the Appropriations Committee, asked Wray today for an update. Collins thanked the FBI director for working with authorities in Maine to figure out why the grow operations continue. She referenced a recent bust in Somerset County in which a home contained 1,500 recently harvested marijuana plants, 30 pounds of processed marijuana, and illicit drug-related materials. The home was located next to a daycare. Collins acknowledges Maine is not alone in this concern. However, authorities across the state are overwhelmed with figuring out why rural Maine is a target.
At the moment, our assessment is that it's a combination of the fact that it is activity that can be done relatively cheaply and by comparison to, say, other drugs in the United States, the consequences that they face from a legal perspective are not as severe.
Wray went on to say they don't see any ties between the grows and the Chinese government itself, but there does seem to be a link to Chinese organized crime. Wray said it's even spilling into tribal lands across the country.